So, what is the stock market? Well, basically, it's just a market like every other market. But instead of selling veggies and underwear, they sell shares in companies. It's as simple as that. And in the stock market, just like those open markets, there's no fixed price. When somebody wants to sell something, they set an asking price for it. When somebody wants to buy that item, they set a bid price or an offer. They go back and forth a bit, and when they're ready, they reach an agreement and they make a trade. The place where the buying and selling of shares takes place is called the stock exchange, or the stock market in general. Now, to really understand how this marketplace came about, we need to take a quick trip back in time and have a look. Now, in the early days of business, everything was done by ship or overland by horse and camel. But in the case of the United States, the Atlantic Ocean was sort of in the way, so we had to use ship. Building and sailing a ship is a really expensive operation. No one person could really afford to take a chance on building one by themselves, and it was too expensive. So many business people would get together and they would share the cost. They would build a company and then divide it up into what they called shares. A person could buy a share of the business, and when the ship came in, they would share in the profits. And that's exactly the way the stock market works today. When you buy shares in a company, you're a part owner of that company. When the company makes profit, you share in the profits. Or at least that's a general idea. Now, while the ships were out, there were always people that still wanted to invest, and they could do that. They could go to the exchange and see if there was somebody willing to sell. And of course, there's always somebody willing to sell. They're in need of cash. So they would agree on a price. So the share prices would fluctuate while the ships were out to sea. And when they came back in, the share prices would go up. Now, when a ship was due in, the investors would gather at the end of Manhattan Island. And there was a wall there and some shade, and they could stand around and watch the ships as they came in. Now, it wasn't long before somebody decided to build a pub around there so that the investors would have some place to relax and have a drink and carry on their trading. And of course, the bar owner could get rich. As the place grew more and more popular, other businesses moved into the area. Of course, they're going to go where the money is, and all the money in the world is in the stock market. The first publicly traded company was the East India Company out of Amsterdam. And they had what they called the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, but it only traded one company, so you really couldn't call it that. The first real stock exchange was the London Stock Exchange. That came into being around 1801. But British, I guess, are being British, it was illegal to trade shares that didn't come in until 1825. So it makes you wonder what they were doing for 24 years, right? The New York Stock Exchange was established by 24 stockbrokers who gathered around outside of their favorite pub under a buttonwood tree. And they signed what was later known as the Buttonwood Agreement. And that established things like commissions, memberships, trading rules, and that sort of thing. And in the mid-1800s, that became known as the New York Stock Exchange. And that now is the world's largest stock exchange. So in summary, and to answer the question, each company is divided into a small number of increments called shares. The number of shares depends on the size of the project, the demand for shares, the size of the company, and a number of other factors. The stock market is simply a place that people come together to make investments in the various companies that they're interested in. It's as simple as that. What you see in the stock market today is vastly different from the humble beginnings that it had a couple of hundred years ago. Just take a look at this shot of the New York Stock Exchange and you'll see what I mean. I hope that gives you a little understanding about the stock market and how it came about. In some of my following videos, I'll explain how to find a good stock, what makes a winner, what makes a loser, and a number of others. So please check back often, and be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you'll leave some comments, likes, shares, most of all, subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll be getting notifications about when my next video is coming out. So until then, enjoy. Thank you again for watching. I'm Will. Good day. How do you think that looks? Want to try it again? Why not? Okay. Let me run through it a few times here. I hope that gives you a little understanding about the stock market and how it came about. In some of my following videos, I'll explain how to find a good stock, what makes a winner, what makes a loser, and a number of others. So please check back often. In some of my following videos, take 23. Okay, I hope that gives you... Check back often and be sure and just subscribe. Get it again, take 38. If you'd like to see more videos such as these, be sure and click the subscribe button. Also, don't forget the thumbs up, make some comments, ask questions. If you'd like to have a specific video that you want to cover, let me know. I'll be happy to oblige. Thanks again. I'm Will the Geek. See you soon. Will that do? Is that a yes?